there is so much weird stuff happening right now. And, people say, well, this is his style. He wants to, he's not one of the, what do they call it? The deep staters. He's not one of the, but it's crazy though, because if you really just look at what he does, it's not so much what he says, because what he says is not consistent with what he does. He surrounds himself, even still, people like Zuckerberg and all the tech guys, the billionaires, the big interests, corporate interests, World Health Organization. We're going to be partnering again with them. Supposedly we were supposed to be not globalists, remember? But we're still in a global economy, in a global world, and obviously we are the ones that were running everything, right? But he's supposed to be remaking this global order. So this is a new order after Trump. Just like he's putting his signature on the new money. Did you hear that? So on the new bills, no other president has ever done that while they were alive, put their own signature. Now, I mean, it's like, minting coins after yourself. I mean, it's just like, maybe when you're dead and gone and people look back in history and say, yeah, what a great president that was. I think we'll make some coinage, or we'll name an aircraft carrier after him or something, but not while you're alive. I mean, that's like saying, hey, I want a Nobel Peace Prize. So somebody please start a Nobel Peace Prize and please give me it. And then pretend like, you just decided to do it for me, like who does that really? I mean, anyways, I just think that when you really sit back and you look at what Trump says and what he does, you start seeing a big disconnect. It's kind of like walk the walk, but don't talk the talk, right? What does it say? There's a saying that says, I think it's a crude statement. Maybe I shouldn't say that one. It talks about what walks. But anyways, I'm sitting here looking at what's coming down the pike here, and it doesn't look good. And it looks like Trump's going to walk it. He's got to walk it back, because if he doesn't, we're going to see a lot of casualties in Iran. And he's been telling the whole world that we already won the war, that they're totally, completely decimated as an economy and as a military and as a, as a people, and they're just waiting now for America to come in and swoop in and save them, because there's no more infrastructure for government. But that doesn't look like what's really happening. I mean, it looks like the military is in complete control, and they have a whole lot more weapons, what they've already unleashed, a whole lot more. And we're not testing it at this moment. We're waiting for all the backup to come in. We got 10,000 more troops on the way. And now Iran is saying that they've got a 1 million-man army waiting for us. And they are going to be ruthless. They're going to be using suicide drones and booby traps. They're going to probably mine everything. I'm telling you, this is not looking good, especially if we're going to be boots on the ground trying to secure territory. We're going to be seeing casualties, unfortunately. And we need to pray for our troops and for the people that are the good young men and women that are going to be going out there. But here's Trump talking to the Five today, and it's just look what he said today. He calls in on the Fox News broadcast, the Five, and somebody had posted this, and I reposted it. It said, "Mission accomplished. The war is over. Donald Trump, quote, we already won the war, unquote. This is amazing, everyone. Trump has won the war for the 5th time. So much winning. Mission accomplished." Remember, you're gonna be winning so much. You're gonna be saying, "Please stop the winning. Too much winning. Please stop." That's what I'm saying right now. Please stop. This is way too much winning. I'm really tired of the winning, Trump. So yeah, please stop. I just don't see this as winning. I see this as looking foolish. I see this as being self-inflicted wounds upon the country and the military. I don't think this is wise. Now, unless Iran just all of a sudden lays down and capitulates and gives up, I mean, which I don't think they're going to do because they keep contradicting everything that Trump says in real time. And it seems like their high command is still in, they've got tiers of high command because they know that there's a possibility they would be martyred if they were to ever be confronting the U.S. So they've got layers like an onion that is going to continue the fight. And they know how to do everything, and they've got the supplies, and they've got the backing of their allies in China and Russia and probably North Korea. And they've got the Houthis, and they've got the Hezbollah and everything. It's not going to be a walk in the park. We keep thinking, oh yeah, Trump, look at what he did in Venezuela. Let's go get behind him. Hey, it's Iran. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger country, maybe a little bit different place. Not anything that we can't handle. I mean, look at how we did. We trounced, Iraq, and they had a standoff with Iran for a long time, a long, long war. So if we did Iraq the way we did Iraq, then we're going to be able to do it. No, Iran has become a lot more sophisticated, a lot more weaponry now that is up to date. I think they are a country that has grown with the times and the technologies, and what I fear is the suicide drones. That's what I think is going to be, because now everything's drone technology now, and I don't think we're up to speed on the drone technology yet. Well, we got bombs and we got planes, we got all kinds of, but this is a different type of warfare. When you talk about asymmetric and you talk about getting in on the ground, facing off with an enemy on their turf, on their territory, and your bases have been pretty much evacuated all around the Middle East, so you don't have a whole bunch of launching pads to be able to come at them from the way you used to. I would say we need to be very careful about what's happening here. But look at this. I did that wrong. So look at this right here. I want you to just listen to what Trump said when he called in. I was just listening to a little bit of it just now, and this seemed kind of strange to me. Tell me what you think.
With their wishes, what would you say to them?
Well, I have to do so.
How do you deal with people who might be disappointed because they voted, let's say they voted for you on the assumption of no wars, and then this happens and it's inconsistent with their wishes? What would you say to them?
Well, I have to do something in terms of making America great and keeping America great. And when you have lunatics with nuclear weapons, and the power is beyond belief, I will tell you, as a president, I get to see it.
Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Oh, I got to fix my mic now really quick here. Okay, so they didn't have nuclear weapons. So I don't know what they're saying. They had a fatwa against nuclear weapons. Officially, as a religious Islamic state, they were not, and they do not look at that mass death as a part of their culture in terms of the technology. And they basically had a law against it. It's called the fatwa against nuclear weapons. Now, they had all the technology for civilian purposes and uses, but from what I understand, there might have been this backdoor thing in case anything ever really did happen and I'm not saying that they're perfect, and whether or not they should even have a nuclear weapon or not. The only country that ever used nuclear weapons was the U.S. So I haven't seen any other country use them. But at this point, I think it's just a bargaining chip to kind of keep another bigger bully from messing with you. If you have a nuke, you're not going to mess. I mean, we were going to do the same thing with North Korea once they got a nuke. Now they're one of the big countries, the nuclear countries. We don't mess with them. We don't meddle in their business, and we leave them alone. It's kind of like a badger, a honey badger. It's a small little animal, but you don't want to get too close to it. Even bears don't even want to get next to a honey badger. Honey badgers just don't care. Honey badgers, they eat cobra for dinner. Remember that meme? But like I said, when you've got a nuke, that's it. You're set apart. You're not going to, and I just don't see them doing that. I just don't see them. I don't see. But anyways, so he says they're dangerous. They've got nukes, weapons of mass destruction. We've heard this before in Iraq. Remember? We went in there and we destroyed everything. We broke it all up. We caused the population to have all kinds of terrible repercussions for years and years to come with depleted uranium, cancers and just death of civilians on a scale we can't even begin to imagine. At least 1 million civilian deaths in Iraq. And literally for what? For what? Did they have new weapons of mass destruction? I don't think so. You know, and Wesley Clark's testimony, we've played it here, is very clear. Colonel Wesley Clark, 4-star general. Is he a 5-star? Maybe he's a 5-star. He basically laid out the whole thing that happened right after 9/11 and how it wasn't even connected to Iran or Iraq, and it was going to be connected to Iran. He said the 7 countries, one of them was Iran, and we were going to go in there and overthrow all of them. And we've basically done at least 5 of them already since the 9/11 event. And it just seems to me, and even to Wesley Clark, who I don't think he's a guy who's going to lie. He's not going to be a person that just makes stuff up. Why do I have a problem with my YouTube video content? Are you guys having a problem watching this? It says I'm not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Can you guys hear me okay? I don't know what happened to my stream here. Am I okay? It says I got an error message here. Are you guys hearing me all right? Hello, hello. Let me just turn this off. Maybe that's it. Okay. Yep, there you go. I guess that helped it. Honey badger don't dog whisper. The honey badger don't care. You go out and look at the honey badger, even though the commentator was a little bit, he was just a little strange, but everybody loved that meme for some reason, the honey badger. And they said that, Trump is like the honey badger. Trump's like the honey badger. He's got, I don't know, maybe so. But anyways, look at this. Let's listen to the rest of this quickly here.
My uncle was a great professor at MIT, and he
okay, I'm going to be like Alex Jones. I'm just going to keep cutting in and making everybody get irritated when they want to listen to something that you can't get the word in edgewise, and you just hear this gruffly voice come over the top. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just making a joke. I was listening to Alex today for first time in a long time. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this guy in his studio, but he was doing the same thing, and I was like, please stop interrupting. But anyways, I want to just add a little bit to this right here. Trump is sitting there talking about weapons of mass destruction and how terrible it is that Iran has them. And then he goes into this whole long monologue about how great he is because his uncle was an MIT expert, right? He's got a high IQ. It's in the genes. It's in the genes. It's all about me. It's like I got this great stock. He calls it great stock. I come from good stock. I got good genes. I got great IQ. And I sit here and I'm watching this and I'm thinking, is this really a high IQ or is this just like, spiritual degeneration that the country is not literally in the toilet with what's going on here? I'm sorry to have to say this to you, but if you really just use your higher IQ and watch what he says, you're going to be like, what has happened to America that they think that this is a high IQ? But anyways, he goes off on this whole tangent about his uncle. And you guys all know about his uncle. We talked a lot about that favorite uncle that was the guy that was in the government and went in and secured Tesla's papers and all of his inventions when he died, and that died alone and died some kind of hermit in one of his apartments. The U.S. government sent Donald Trump's favorite uncle, who was a very brilliant man, MIT guy, and supposedly he was favorite to Donald Trump and gave him all this doting love, and somehow he's now a brilliant man. But here he is boasting about his pedigree while he's talking about nuclear weapons, destroying the whole world, and Iran. He can't just stop talking about himself ever? I mean, literally?
Nuclear weapons, and the power is beyond belief. I will tell you, as a president, I get to see it. My uncle was a great professor at MIT, and he knew more about nuclear at the time than anybody. He told me stories that were horrible in terms of the power, both beautiful in terms of putting it to good use, but really bad for destruction purposes. And his statements from years ago were, he really got it. He really got it. He was a highly respected man. He was there for 41 years at MIT as a great professor, and he told me about.
Don't forget, Donald, to say he has that you have good genes. Don't forget to say you got a high IQ, good stock. Remember everybody was making fun of him about that because, why do you need to bring that up? Now he's not saying that, I don't think, right now, but still, what's the whole deal about having to enforce the idea that nuclear war and nuclear power is bad? And yes, we have all these powerful nuclear weapons. He makes it clear. He wants to reiterate it, how he rebuilt them all. He knows how destructive they are. I know what we can do with it. You don't want to see these things in operation, do you? He's always kind of subtly, like the mafia. We can, we really want to protect your country. We don't want to see anything really bad happen, like a nuclear bomb or anything fall on you. But yeah, it's just they're crazy out there. They're trying to get the nuclear weapons, but we got them, and we don't want you to have them. So we're going to be telling you we're going to nuke you into oblivion if you even try to get one of those under your hot little hand. That's what it seems like to me. It just doesn't make any sense.
A thing called nuclear, and at the time nobody knew too much about it, and he said exactly what it was all about. And you can't let a madman, or you can't let a mad ideology have a nuclear weapon. And we hit, as you know, 50,000 in the Dow. Everyone said it would be impossible in 4 years. I hit it in my first year. We hit 7,000 in the S&P, and everyone said that would be even more impossible. We hit it in my first year. And I said we have to take a little bit of a detour. We have to take a little journey to a place called Iran.
A place called hell. We have to take a little journey, a little detour to a place called hell, because he has been saying he's going to unleash hell in the last few days. Yeah, he's going to unleash hell. But Trump's about to unleash hell again. He's not just navigating us through the storm. He is the storm. He is the chaos. Storms are destructive. You know that, right? There's going to be epic fury, epic wrath. When you think about epic wrath or great wrath, the Bible says that the devil, he knows his time is short, for he was filled with great wrath or epic fury. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just unleashing epic wrath upon the earth as if we're, God throwing down thunderbolts wherever we decide we're going to regime change or upend because they're not using our petrodollars. It's like, who do we think we really are? Seriously. But anyways, let's continue.
And where these mad people were going to have a nuclear weapon, and they could do tremendous damage, not only to the Middle East and Israel, but also to our country, because we would be next. And I said, we're going to take a little detour, and we're going to go and we're going to knock them out. And that's what we've done. We have the greatest military in the world. And it started with the B-2 bombers, which made it impossible for them to do the nuclear. They would have had, if we didn't hit them with the B-2 bombers 8 months ago, if we didn't do that, they would have right now a nuclear weapon, and they would have used it by.
Oh, okay. Well, then that means we've already taken care of it 8 months ago. Why are we in there right now? What are we doing in there then? If we've already decimated their nuclear abilities and the mission has been accomplished, why are we sending in 10,000 troops on the ground to potentially be under attacks from suicide drone? I mean, look at what's going on in Ukraine. Do you want our guys to be out there defenseless against these suicide drones being picked off? I mean, this is what's going to happen. This is what's coming. It is just maddening when you think about what's really going on here. But anyways, let's continue. Israeli military chief warns the IDF could soon collapse if there is no resolution to its manpower shortages. Jerusalem Post reports. Really? The IDF is nearing a breaking point. Channel 12. This is all Israeli news, so it's not something that's propaganda or anything. In a leaked cabinet recording, and this is a recording that they have posted, Israeli Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir warned that the IDF is nearing a breaking point after prolonged conflict. Quote, I am raising 10 red flags, Zamir told ministers, stressing the urgent need for new laws to conscript reserves and extended service. The reserves will not be able to hold out under these dramatic circumstances, he added, warning that it won't be long before the IDF is no longer fit for routine security missions. Now, maybe they'll raise the age to 45, or what is it? Didn't Trump just raise the age for conscription or draft up to 43, I think it was? And he also said that, hey, we're not going to make sure, you can't come in if you've used drugs or any kind of marijuana, but hey, we're going to relax that restriction because, hey, eventually we're going to have to raise it up to 65 like they did in Ukraine. They got old men out there fighting on the front lines because all the young guys are all dead. I hope that doesn't happen here. But anyways, did you guys see this? Newsweek is tracking bus-sized asteroids that are approaching Earth. There's literally a few bus-sized, but there's also like 3 or 4 house-sized asteroids. And you've seen all these meteorites that have been hitting the planet and breaking through our atmosphere in massive kabooms, what they call sonic booms, because when they're coming in at such a high velocity or rate of speed and they break through our atmosphere, it causes a big boom. And that's what happened in Russia when there was a big, massive meteorite that punched through, and it basically just destroyed buildings. It broke glass, and people, thousands of people were hurt from that. Do you remember that? What's going on? They're saying that our Earth is being pelted by all kinds of incoming asteroid or meteorites. Now, could this also be cover for in case something happens? I was thinking about this. Well, they could always just say, hey, remember we were talking about all those meteorites that were coming in all of a sudden, hitting the Earth, sonic booms. Now they're saying that there's about 6 of them that are going to happen within the next 2 or 3 days. 2 or 3 days, we've got about 6 different meteorites, some the size of houses and bigger. I think they said 300 feet in diameter. Can you imagine? Depending on what it's made of, if it comes through the atmosphere and hits the Earth, what would happen? I don't know if it would be an extinction level event, but it definitely would be pretty something that you might want to take note of. This is in Newsweek.com. This is just posted today. And these things are flying really close to the Earth. One is 23,000 miles. That's not very far, by the way. If their trajectories are a little bit off and it happens to hit our planet, there you go. Iran says that it did not request a 10-day pause from President Trump on strikes targeting its energy infrastructure. So, this is a consistent pattern with Trump where he says things, he negotiates with people that aren't there, and then he puts it out on the media, and the country that's supposedly being negotiated with is like, who's he talking to? It wasn't us. Not official channels, not official government, leaders or military or whatever. And they're like, who's he talking to? Whoever he wants to talk to, I guess. Maybe he's making it up. Maybe he's talking to some low-level guy that's on the phone saying that he's the Iranian, he's connected with Iranian government. I don't know. But it's definitely not the people that are shooting the missiles. Tasnim agency citing an Iranian military source that more than 1 million fighters have been equipped for the ground battle with the United States. 1 million. Think about that. We've got 10,000 guys going in there, and they got 1 million that they're mobilizing. Not to mention, they've probably mined and booby-trapped and, got everything in order for their suicide drones to come in. I mean, this doesn't look good at all. I'm just telling you, man, this does not look good at all. And they're saying that it's imminent. Now, I expect Trump to walk this back because the economy is being hit hard right now. And, our oil and everything else is affecting everything else around the world. It's not just here. I mean, we've got higher prices, but can you see what's happening around the world right now? With these long queues and people can't get gas, and they're saying that there's going to be famines and that there's no food going to be in the stores. There's not going to be any. It's going to affect every industry because everything's going to go up in price. hyperinflation or what you might call inflation, which could lead to depressions and collapse, Mad Max. I mean, you're just talking worst case scenario here. This looks a lot to me like the apocalypse. They're saying it's Armageddon. So, if Trump and all of the military is saying it's Armageddon, and they're saying it's a holy war, and then you got Iran saying the same thing, and you got Israel saying the same thing, what in the world is about to happen? I think we're just on the precipice of seeing something very terrible go down. So let's take a look at this. I was looking at this little commentary. I want to play a few minutes of this commentary, if you don't mind. He seems to have some pretty good stuff here. He's called the Midas Touch channel. I don't know what he believes. I just listen to what people say. If they're liberals, I don't know. They people say, well, they don't like Trump. They got to be liberals. They got to be, they're they got Trump derangement syndrome. I just listen to the facts. Like, I look at what's going on. I had no problem supporting Trump when I thought he was going to do what he said he was going to do. I had no problem with that. But when I saw it wasn't consistent, I can't continue to support someone that, is like that alcoholic that keeps saying they're going to be sober, and then they promise you they'll never drink again, and then they find another alcoholic bottle hidden somewhere in the house, and it's another one under the bed, and I promise I'll never do it again. Well, why do you smell like alcohol? Why do you keep doing the same thing over and over again? You keep telling us and promising us, but it's a part of the plan. It's a 3D chess move. It's like, but I don't drink. I'm sober. I've got good genes. Okay, well, just listen. This is Ben Mazaleas or something like that. And listen to what he says. He's got some good commentary.
Donald Trump is panicking as Iran says it is preparing 1 million troops if the United States invades the Karg Islands or anywhere else in Iran. Now, Donald Trump has immediately responded by claiming he is entering into further fake negotiations with Iran, which Iran has immediately denied. But Donald Trump made this statement as the markets here in the United States are crashing. And so again, Donald Trump has tried to manipulate the market, but it seems the market is getting numb to all of his lies, where he'll make up something, then Iran, whether it's to the Wall Street Journal or through an intermediary or through Dropsite or through another, the Financial Times, will just say absolutely everything that Donald Trump is saying is not true. Let's just go through the events here. So Iran says, if you invade, we have more than 1 million fighters who are preparing for a ground battle. And Iran put that out through Tasman News Agency, citing their own Iranian military sources. Then Donald Trump posts, as per Iranian government request, please let this statement serve to represent that I am pausing the period of energy plant destruction. By the way, that's a war crime. By 10 days to Monday, April 6, 2026 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Talks are ongoing, and despite erroneous statements to the contrary by the fake news media and others, they are going very well. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. So instinctively, we knew that Donald Trump was lying because everything that spews out of his mouth and vomits out of his face is an absolute lie. And then shortly thereafter, we heard from Iranian officials who said the following. Senior Iranian officials told Dropsite News that U.S. President Donald Trump was not being truthful in his post earlier on Truth Social, announcing an additional 5-day pause on his threat to bomb Iranian energy infrastructure at the request of Iran, with the official stating, Trump is not being truthful. We have not submitted any request regarding potential U.S. attacks. Now, you might be saying, well, that's a senior Iranian official, and they're saying that to Dropsite. Maybe that's a lie. Maybe they're not telling the truth. Well, then one of the individuals trying to be a mediator, I think probably from Pakistan, that the U.S. is trying to use to engage with Iran, then went to the Wall Street Journal and made it very clear Iran hasn't requested a pause on energy, site strikes, the mediator says. So the same way that the former mediator, the foreign minister of Oman, basically said that the United States and Israel acted in a way that was inconsistent with the negotiations, where there was a deal that was reached in late February and that there were just technical details that needed to follow. But then the U.S. and Israel invaded Iran when there was a deal to be had. You're having the new mediator, likely from Pakistan, but it's unclear from where, telling the Wall Street Journal and others that what Donald Trump is saying is an absolute lie. Iran has not requested a 10-day pause on strikes on its energy plants and is yet to deliver a final response to the U.S. 15-point plan to end the war, according to, quote, peace talk mediators. This was reported by Wall Street Journal. But what we do know from this article is that Iran has ruled out discussing its missiles program as a starting point to talks and doesn't want to commit to ending enrichment of uranium forever, the mediators say. So don't even talk to us about dismantling our Shaheeds, our ballistic missiles of any range, intermediate or otherwise. We're not even going to have that conversation with you. And
so it's good commentary. This guy, I don't know if you know who he is, but his name is Midas Touch, and he's got 6 million subscribers. Wow, that is absolutely crazy. So he is legit. Somebody's been saying that he's a great commentator, not a liberal. He just posted this 3 hours ago. It's already got almost 500,000 views. 500,000 views already. Midas Touch. Yeah. And I don't know if he spells it the right way. I think it's according to his name, Mycelis, Ben Mycelis. Anyways, let's move on and see what else we got here. What other craziness can we look at here tonight? U.S. paper currency will bear Donald Trump's signature to mark the 250th anniversary of U.S. independence, Treasury Department said on Thursday. The first for a sitting president, Reuters. Always a first, man. Wall Street Journal said that Wall Street had its worst day ever since the war with Iran began, according to the Associated Press, and it did drop pretty significantly. I think that a lot of the market is being manipulated anyway. That's what they call the plunge protection team. If you didn't know what the PTT is, it's definitely a real, process that they employ when things like markets begin to tank. They try to prop it up and use the psychological idea that, hey, everything's great. You got eggs at low prices and gas is at low prices. Don't you feel good? Don't look at all the other stuff that's gone up exponentially, but these things make you feel good, don't they? It's like comfort food, It's like, don't you feel good? Look at this. Yes, everything's good. The stock market feels good. Look at that. It's going up. It's on the way to the top, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. And it's like, hey, everything's good. Trump's in control. He's got it all squared away. Not to mention, your insurance rates, your property tax, your every food inflation. It just never stops. Everything is just inflated in prices. Tariff wars can't get certain things. It's going to get worse, and it's only going to get worse with what's going on now. You're looking at COVID-style type lockdowns in different countries because of no gas, and they're rolling out this digital crap once again during all this crisis. It looks like they're getting ready to do that whole same whoop-de-doo thing during a crisis to try to lock everybody into this web of technology. And so is it going to get that bad where it's going to affect everything? Is it going to be another everything shortage? Remember, it was shortages on chips, and it was shortages on food, and shortages on masks, and then it became an everything shortage because you couldn't get anything. Remember? I remember going to the Walmart trying to get a laptop, and I couldn't even find a laptop. Walmart always has everything there. Laptops, they got the cheap ones, the expensive ones. You couldn't even find a cheap one. There was nothing on the shelves. Nothing. You couldn't find anything. No cars, no trucks. You kind of go out to go buy a truck. There's no way you're going to get a truck. You ain't going to get a truck. You're going to find nothing. Everything is short. Now, we got trade wars now, and China and Russia are now our enemies because they're now supplying and aiding and abetting Iran. And you know that grates on Trump. Everybody's an enemy of Trump now. Europe's an enemy of Trump. He tries to play nice, and he tries to suck up to the power brokers on the planet like China and Russia, but they all know what he's doing, and they know that they've got him over a barrel. They know that the whole BRICS is taking over the global economy, and this is supposedly Trump's new world order. And how is he going to transition into the whole new Bitcoin president idea, crypto? This was all a scheme, though. It was all a scheme to pump Bitcoin up, and they got heavily invested, just like they did with his Trump meme coin. And now you don't hear him talking about the Bitcoin president anymore, do you? You don't hear about the Bitcoin capital of the U.S. anymore, do you? You know, that $300 or $400 billion that they confiscated from people that had Bitcoin, and they said was going to be the foundation of the world reserve American economy, right? We're going to have a world reserve Bitcoin economy. And then once Bitcoin goes to the moon, it's going to be $1 million one day here real soon. And everybody was like, really? Good, go Trump, let's go. And everybody was putting their money into Bitcoin because they were like, yeah, it's to the moon. Trump's our Bitcoin president. He's got the world, we're going to be world reserve Bitcoin capital of the world. And so what did everybody do? They put their money in at $120,000 per coin. And I said, that's it, guys. This is another one of them schemes. You guys better be careful. Don't get into Bitcoin. You're going to lose your pants. And whoever got into Bitcoin, when he said it was going to be $1 million, they lost half of their value overnight. What is it at now? 60 something's out, 65. It was 120. It's down to 60 something thousand now. So anybody that bought in, you put in $10,000, you're now at, your value is $5,000. You put in $1 million, you're at $500,000. Because you thought you were going to get rich because Trump said it. Trump, your man. Now, I think that's souring people, because after it starts hitting your pocketbook, you start getting a little sour. Then you start realizing, oh, wait a minute. Maybe I am being told a pack of lies. Maybe I'm following someone that's leading me astray into the pit. But all you got to do is go back in the past. 6, 7 bankruptcies, one after another. Businesses fail after fail. And then they get bailed out by what? Israel. Israel bails them out. Supposedly, this is what happened. $1 billion in the hole. Always makes it look like but there's some payback in the future. And one day, everybody knew he was going to run for president. All the way back in 2010, Paula White, talking about, how she always talks about it. I don't never contradict the president. President is like God. Whatever President Trump says, it's God speaking. That's what she said. She literally said that. And she was like, I advised him before 2012 not to run, just to wait until the next one comes around because he's not ready yet. So here we are. Now Trump is president, and good luck for the church that's gone a whoring, that the woman's that's riding the beast, because you're about to be devoured. It's called, what do they call it? Collateral damage. Sorry. Yeah, you Christians, remember he said this, you Christians are only going to have to vote for me. I love my Christians. You're only going to have to vote for me one more time, Christians. Just get out there and do it one more time. That's all you got to do. One more time. Get out there and vote for me. That's what he said. But you just ate it all up because you just love snakes. You just let the snake right in the door. Yeah, you did. 3 times, some of you out there. But it's okay. There's forgiveness. There's grace. There's repentance. And you can do that, but you got to admit it. You can't be continually aiding and abetting it, enabling the hopium drug pusher of hopium. Our Captain Hopium here. Let's see. Trump is now saying, okay, so this is coming from TPV John. I like this guy. He was a big time channel, Trump channel, and he's definitely woken up and saw the light. Blame the Democrats for the airport mess. They want our country to do badly. They want our country to fail. They gotta have somebody to blame. You know, when everything's going bad, you got to find demons. You got to find demons to blame. So everybody feels justified. They're on the right team still. I'm still on the right team. It's the demons over there. It's their fault. The reason why the whole economy and everything's going to pot, we're going to be in a global war here. We basically threw the whole world into chaos is because of the Democrats. It's all their fault. They wanted something. They wanted to throw our country into this whole thing, and Trump is just trying to work it out. He's trying to save us. He's the peace president, don't you know? He's only done like what, eight conflicts in the short time that he's been president. What is it? Venezuela. He's overthrown. What's he? Venezuela, cartels, Mexico. Oh, this is all for our good though. But what was the other one? Cuba. Cuba's about ready to be taken over. We're just waiting for them to just drop like a ripe fruit, because they're getting really ripe right now. They have nothing. They're literally starving over there. We've just totally embargoed them. I don't know if that's like a war crime. Is that considered a war crime? When you basically cut people's water and food off and their economy off, is that considered a war crime? I mean, bombing desalination plants where you get water. You're in an arid, dry desert and you just take away people's water. This is civilians. Is that considered a war crime? I think it is. I think it's against the Geneva Conventions, if I'm not mistaken. But he says, I may call up the National Guard. This is his threat to the Democrats. Hey, I'm going to get my Democrat friends out there and enemies. Hey, we're sending in the National Guard into your state, and it's going to be federalized. They're all my troops. ICE, National Guard at my command. They're coming in. They're coming in because you didn't do what I wanted. So I'm going to bring them in there. We're going to take over. Could have done this the easy way, but now it's going to be the hard way. Now we're going to go in and break things. We're going to intimidate you guys into submission. Now, this is what's going to cause the No Kings riots to go crazy, okay? So the No Kings riots, did I say riots? I mean protests. The No Kings protest is coming up here in the next day or so. I think it's the 27th, 28th, or is it 29th? I know it's Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, it's Saturday. So No Kings protest 28th. It's going to be all over the country. All over the country. Everywhere on the face of the United States map, you're going to see a protest. I'm telling you, in every city. And there's going to be a lot of MAGA people out there too. You watch. Ben Shapiro is telling Americans to prepare for a long war and to expect more casualties. Well, sure. The more Americans die, the less Israelis got to die, right? Israelis don't need to die as much. We need to work together on this. We're a team. Now get out there and fight. That's kind of what it looked like today in Wall Street. $1 trillion wiped out from the U.S. stock market today. $1 trillion. Not just 1 billion, but 1 trillion. Like that. Isn't that what Dr. Evil does? Let's see if Dr. Evil is that. Yeah, this is Dr. Evil. This is Dr. Evil. $1 billion, and he's like, $1 billion isn't that much in today's money, Dr. Evil. Oh, okay, $1 trillion. All right, the International Atomic Energy Agency warns of major radiological accident risk if strikes near nuclear plants continue. So I'm not sure if that has to do with Israel, because I know the Iranians are striking right there near Dimona. They're sending in lots of missiles, and these missiles are getting bigger by the day. They're pulling out their big stuff now. The Iranians are starting to pull out their the real thing. See, they wanted to deplete a lot of our missile defenses by using missiles that they didn't really, have a whole lot of expectation from. They just wanted to deplete our really expensive defensive missiles. Those are very expensive. Every one of those missiles that goes up from a Patriot battery or from a Iron Dome battery or an Arrow battery, those are expensive missiles. Some of them are in the millions. They're very expensive. How many of you guys know how expensive those missiles are? And, Iran's missiles are probably, a few $1,000s. They're spending a few thousand on these, just junk missiles to just take down and deplete our resources. And then now that they've done this, now they're going to bring in the real powerful stuff. They're bringing in they have like a version of the Oreshnik that carries like four or five different warheads that are, I think it was 100, or was it 150 kilogram? Or I think it's kilograms each. So these warheads are very heavy, but they break up in the atmosphere. I guess they're like independent glide vehicles. So once they break up and as they come down in different. So it's a lot harder to take them out. They're coming down, I think, at hypersonic speeds anyway. So you've got a number of different impact areas from one missile. So these are not good. So we already saw that. Let's see where we're at here. Time is up. Yeah, I posted this. I thought that was kind of interesting. Did you guys ever see Independence Day? When he says time is up? Let's see. It probably will copyright me if I post it there. Why do I always get these copyrights? It's because of the music.
Time's up.
Yeah, time's up. That's when the aliens started attacking. Trump is about to reveal alien technologies here. Did you know that? It's kind of like Tesla papers that his uncle had given him secretly, and nobody knew about it, but they told the government, oh, no, there was nothing there. But secretly, Donald J. Trump's favorite uncle had all the Tesla papers to show him all how to time travel and, what do they call that, propulsion without what they call it, non-gravitational technologies. Anyways, and so Trump basically is now saying, hey, we're going to reveal aliens here real soon. We're going to show the world that there's alien bodies that the U.S. may in fact know about and alien craft, right? You guys all thought that was a crazy conspiracy, just like chemtrails and everything else. Ha, 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 it's actually real, you dummies. It's actually real. And Alex Jones is a genius. Alex Jones is a genius. And yeah, there's gay frogs too. Don't forget about the gay frogs. So he's going to, they just recently in the last, 2 weeks now, there was a lot of talk about this, how the government went out and procured aliens.gov. I think it's aliens.gov or alien.gov, right? They got the website alien.gov. Let's see if this is it. Is this it? Or is it aliens or is it alien? Yeah, it's been taken by the U.S. government. They actually went out and they bought it. It says, okay, so for 4 hours ago, I guess it says, okay, no, this is a different site. So it's kind of like, yeah, somebody's trying to use the name there, but it says the truth is out there. The U.S. registers aliens.gov as Trump pledges UFO release. And this is legit. I mean, this is the government taking this web domain and they added it to their government registry a month after President directed agencies to release files related to UFOs or UAPs. They got to say something different than UFOs, because everybody that says UFO, they automatically look like a crazy conspiracy theorist. But hey, if you say UAP, all of a sudden you're smart. You're a genius. There is life out there. Yeah. So now you're looking smart, right? But what are UFOs, and really what are aliens? They're demons. Hello. And who's unleashing and revealing the demons? Are we in the prophetic end times because these things are being released? Maybe. I think we are, actually. You all know where I stand on all that. And yeah, it's happening right now. It's happening right now. Here it is right here. This is the site. So this is The Guardian. It says, but the move also comes at a time when U.S. officials or U.S. government interest in UFOs or unidentified anomalous phenomenon, as Official Dome prefers to call them, Official Dome, has never been higher and is firmly rooted in fears over national security in the age of drones, terrorism, and international conflict. Yeah, because we don't know where these drones are coming from. Like, they're huge. They're the size of buses. These are massive drones that supposedly we scrambled F-35s and F-16s and F-15s or whatever, and we couldn't even catch them. They were so fast that they outran our jets, and there was no heat signature on top of it. So what kind of propulsion do these things actually have? And then where did they go? They're no longer being talked about. The media is not saying. They were hovering over army bases all over the United States and the world, for that matter. But its time is ticking down, and it's about time. Time's up. Maybe they're going to just nuke the whole world like they did in what was the name of that movie again? With the aliens, that clip I just had. What the heck was the name? Judgment Day? No, it wasn't Judgment Day. Anyways, I forgot the name of it. All right, so what else do we got here? So what is Brent Crude? Let's see where it's at now. It went up today like $4 or $5 at least when I posted that. Let's see what Brent Crude is at now. Brent Crude is now at 107.35. It's about the same. But what's weird is it's got 666 in it, and it's red. It looks really evil. It's not green anymore. Now it's red. And it's got 666 in there. Look at that. 606. It's kind of like the it's kind of like the Microsoft patent that talks about how they're going to put devices that are going to track your behavior so that they can reward you with cryptocurrency. Microsoft 0606. And this is a real patent. So if you didn't know this, just so you know, this is a real patent. Look at this. And this has to do with the mark of the beast. And you know who's the one that holds this patent? Look at this. It was in 2020. You got WO, and then the patent number is here. 2020, right there. That's when they did it. This was all about the COVID stuff, right? And then look at the number, 060606. There you go, 666. And who's the one that holds the application for patent on this? Microsoft Technology Licensing LLC. Can you see that? Oh, you can't see that. Shoot, I'm on the wrong page there. I'm sorry. So here it is, 2020. Oh, shoot. It's like, so why did I do this? I'm on the two. Okay, so I got two different videos going. Okay, here we go. I had two different pages. I'm sorry. So I'm sitting here showing you something you can't see. So here it is, 2020, right? 2020, you can see that right there. And then 060606 right there. And this is a Microsoft Technology Licensing LLC current assignee. And if you read what it's all about, this patent, it's all about rewarding you. You can't buy or sell, save you have this device that allows you to transact and to be a part of society. If you don't have this technology somehow connected to your physical body. Now, there was a whole bunch of talk that this was an implantable chip, and they were quick to say, no, this is not an implantable chip. This is a device. Well, where is this device going to be? Well, it could be a pill. It could be a device that's on your person. It could be your watch. It could be your Google glasses. It could be anything. It could be anything. What about a shot? What about some nanotech that somehow makes you a part of the Internet of Bodies? Because that is real technology. And if you're a good citizen, well, you're going to be rewarded with cryptocurrency, and you're going to be able to buy and sell. Isn't that special? Let's just look at some of it. It's a summary here. Some exemplary embodiments of the present disclosure may use human body activity associated with the task provided to a user as a solution to mining. So you're mining, you got to get your money, right? So you got to use your body. You got to use your body in that cryptocurrency collaboration with that technology, so you can get your money. You know, you got to buy and sell, right? How are you going to buy and sell if you don't take the mark? For example, a brainwave or body heat emitted from the user when the user performs the task provided by an information or service provider, such as viewing an advertisement, or using certain internet services, can be used in the mining process. That means they're going to reward you. Oh, you did something good. You had a positive response to the ad, and it was somehow detecting in your physical body that you did something that they liked. So they're going to give you a positive social credit score. You're going to start going up in the green. That means you can travel far. You can have nicer things to eat. You can actually rent a house and, maybe be on a higher social class, of citizen, because you're a good citizen, right? Because you're using the technology and you're worshiping the beast. Instead of massive computation work required by some conventional cryptocurrency systems, data generated based on the body activity of the user can be proof of work, and therefore a user can solve the computationally difficult problem unconsciously. You don't even have to think about it. Just have the technology in your physical body, and you're going to solve the problem without even having to think. And that way, you're mining your money. Your money is being mined right in your body, and it's accruing and being deposited directly into your account. Here's your account right here. Just wave it over. You've got money. Hey, you've got money. It's going to be like the new AOL. You got money. And you just go to the store and just wave your hand over the scanner, and Luciferese, that luminescent technology that's in your blood, is going to just show right up. And you're going to be like, you can enter the building. Just wave your hand. The Tesla robots will be, you are a good citizen. Come on in. We have scanned your body and see that you are one with us. You are a part of the Borg. Enter in. Well done, good and faithful servant. Not for me. I'll be exiting stage left when the Lord returns, okay? You guys can have your technologies. Anyways, let's move on. I'll be sitting here stuck on this all night if I don't straighten up here. All right, so 107, huh? Brent crude. And then you got the Bitcoin in the last 6 months has lost $41,000 per coin. That's just 6 months. It's even more than that, because it was at one point, it was at $125,000 a coin. Dow Jones, but it was at 50,000 in his first year, 50,000, but now it's down to 45. I wonder how much lower it's going to go. Hey, don't forget to get your sprouting kits. Guys, it's almost go time. You better have the ability to make your food and grow your food, or go out and hunt and kill your food, or having stocked up on food and gas and energy, because if it goes the way I think it's going to go, you're either going to start getting your cryptocurrency mined out of your body, or you're going to have to coast on what you've prepared for to get through whatever's coming on the back end here, which I think is very soon. But hey, look at this. Get your veggie intake. Take care of, taken care of while we can say, okay, this is my statement about the shipping, because they're raising shipping rates now almost 10% because of the fuel shortages. This is here in the United States. The U.S. Postal Service is going to be raising rates even more than they already are. You know, this, like we send out a bag of seeds like this. It costs us $15 just to put it in a small little box. It's going to probably cost $20 now. So you better get your stuff, because I'm going to tell you, it's not just what we're doing, it's whatever you're getting. You better get what you're going to get, because when it all is said and done, that's all you're going to have when it all hits the fan. That was what that rocket scientist, he was interviewed by Canadian Prepper. He's a rocket scientist, right? But this guy had long hair. He looked like Harry from Dumb and Dumber. And what's so even crazier is he actually does have a worm farm. And he's all about farming. You know, if you ever saw Dumb and Dumber when he said, hey, we have a worm farm, right? We're gonna raise worms. Remember that? Well, the dude actually does have a worm farm, and worms are very important to the health of your soil. If you're going to be a farmer, you want a lot of worms in your soil. That produces healthy food, right? It's a part of that help to make your food supply grow. So anyway, this guy has a worm farm, and one of the statements he made was, when everything shuts down and everything stops, what you have is what you're going to have. It doesn't matter how much you got in the bank, because when it all does come to that point, which this is why preppers are who they are, because they understand that things could come to a cataclysmic, critical infrastructure collapse, right? With some black swan event. And maybe even a few black swan events. Who knows? I mean, anything can happen, so you got to think about these things, and you need to get food security, energy independent. You don't want to be, dependent on critical infrastructure as much as possible if you can. If you have a well, that's great. You get your water right from the ground. You got solar, or you got generators, or you got propane, you stockpile that if it ever goes down, well, you have the ability to recharge batteries. And I say solar batteries are great because, you can charge and recharge and discharge batteries that are lithium iron phosphate batteries. They say 3,000 to 7,000 times. That'll basically take care of the rest of your life. The old technology with acid lead batteries didn't last that long. You might be lucky if you get a year or two. These will last 20 years. You can just keep it as long as you don't charge them when it's freezing cold. You don't want to charge your batteries when it's freezing because it'll mess them up. But what you do is you just get lithium iron phosphate batteries. They're kind of expensive, but hey, you have unlimited power, right? As long as there's some kind of sunshine. It doesn't even have to be direct sun. It can be just light. It'll charge your battery slow, but it's still charged. And then if you got a little generator, or get a propane generator. I like propane because if you had a big propane tank, you could just stick it on a propane tank, and you charge up your batteries while you're using it for lighting or whatever tasks that you have to use your energy for. And then once you're done, you turn off the generator, and your battery bank is full, and your battery bank, depending on how big it is, could last you a couple days. You just running off of batteries then. And so it's not as bad as it seems. So you got to be energy independent, get your food security. Veggies is very important. Make sure you have a variety of vegetables that you can do urban growing right on your own. I say get the lighting kit, stockpile seeds, and know how to do it. Start learning how to do stuff. And the best way to do it is just to do it. That's how you learn. And I don't know how to do everything. I just look at a YouTube video and I go on and I try it, and then it works. And I'm like, wow. And then after a while, you figure out how to do it the best way, got muscle memory, and then you're just do it without even thinking. And then it's just a part of your routine every day. You're making your vegetables every day, 365 days a year. You don't even have to go to the store because you got them right there. And I'm not saying that you don't want to eat other types of vegetables, but if it really comes down to a crap hit the fan scenario, at least you got some great vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, and all the amino acids. It's all compacted in that seed. This is why seeds are so good. You want to get seeds. And this is also not just a sales pitch, but it's also a survival pitch. You want to be thinking about these things ahead of time, before the door closes, before they disappear off Amazon or the shelves. Because I'm going to tell you what, I think it's going to affect Amazon. I think they've already attacked Amazon servers, and Amazon was down. Like, that's one of the things they're going to do. They want to, we're hitting their critical infrastructure. You know what they're going to do? They're going to take out ours, and understand that. It's tit for tat. It's what they call revenge. Look at some of the videos Iran's put out. I don't put it past. I do not underestimate the Iranians, the Russians, or the Chinese, okay? And you shouldn't either. And you better be thinking about this stuff. Worldwide crash, breaking markets, worldwide crash. Markets worldwide are crashing violently. Okay, so this is happening all over the world. It wasn't just ours. I mean, we had a big down day today, but in other parts of the world, percentages were much lower. And I think it's because they're being affected in a much worse way, because they're more dependent on imports of gas and oil. The United States isn't as much right now. We do produce a lot, and I think we do have the capacity and the ability to kind of serve ourselves. We probably won't export anything. We're just going to keep it for domestic reasons, but we're not going to be making any money. Unless Trump raises the prices on us from our own oil, because that's what he could do. But I still don't think we have enough for our own domestic population, because, I mean, we took over. Venezuela, and I think maybe that's why we're trying to do the whole thing. And did you see how Trump tried to make it seem like, oh yeah, people were speculating, Iranians are going to give them the island. They're going to give them that whole oil island. They're just bowing down. They don't want at war anymore. They don't want to die anymore. These Iranian leaders have come to their senses, and he's dealing with really smart Iranians now that are now in control. And the way they said that we were really dealing with them is that they let 8 or 10 ships through. So we said, if you're really the people that we're dealing with that can take over Iran, then let 8 ships go through. And sure enough, 8 ships went through, and then an extra 2 went through. Well, they're already letting ships go through. They're letting the Iranians go through. They're letting the Indians go through. They're letting their allies go through. That's just what they're doing. But it has nothing to do with Trump. Why don't you let some of our allies go through, and then we'll see. But see, Trump didn't want anybody. He wanted everybody to think that something very special was about to happen. Something very special was taking place. They just really loved me. They really, really loved me. Sally Field thing. I'm glad I got this award. I'm so glad that you like me. You really, really like me. You remember that, Sally Field? I'm so happy to get this award. Oh, let's see. Sounds to me that Trump is very hurt and NATO didn't come to our aid in a time of need, and now Americans are the only ones going to be dying in this foreign war. Yeah, Trump didn't seem very happy that none of NATO has come up and stepped up on our, by our side. Maybe NATO thinks it's crazy what he's doing. Maybe they understand we're about to get our hat handed to us, and they don't want to be any part of it. They don't want to be a part of that. And Trump says it's already said and done anyway. So why do we need to go help? If it's already said and done, and everything's already done, we can say, rush right through the strait without any problem. And they've been completely vanquished. Then why do we need NATO to help us? But Trump's doesn't really mean what he says. That's why it doesn't make sense. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense, and everybody knows it. That's why nobody's coming to our aid. We're being left to spin in the wind here. America, that includes you and I, and everybody here. We're going to be the ones on the outside looking in now. I have a feeling that's where it's going. They're saying it's the death of an empire, but I have to kind of wonder if that's true. Because it does look like we're doing stupid things. winning stupid prizes, doing stupid things, winning stupid prizes. Iran's secret gift for Trump. What was that secret gift? Because, Trump was like, hey, he's got a secret gift. Iran has given me this secret gift. It's very special. Never before, ever seen. Never have they ever given a president like this. I'm very special, very, very privileged, very honored that the Iranians have thought so highly of me to have given me this special gift. Don't I sound like him? I'm seriously. Don't I sound exactly like Trump? I mean, seriously. That's why I think it was his cousin said that when he was a kid, his I think it was one of his uncles. I don't think it was the one that was the MIT guy. It was another uncle said, and this was in an interview of the one that was kind of critical of Trump. This was his relative. And she said that when he was a kid, one of the uncle would call him the great I am. And he was only 12 years old. The reason that he called him the great I am is because he's always talking about himself, always talking about how great he is, right? And she said that one thing about Donald, she said, is he's always consistent. He's always been like the way he is. always talking about himself as being great ever since he was a kid. So that's kind of weird, like I just say, what kind of disorder is this? Is this like a Dr. Evil disorder? I don't know. Dr. Evil had no hair though. Donald Trump says the UK aircraft carriers are toys compared to U.S. ones. Oh, I love it. They're just toys. Even though our aircraft carrier had a toilet problem for the last year that we never fixed, and a fire in the laundry room, and now it's going to be out of commission for a year of repairs. Yeah. You know why he's saying that about UK? Because ours are failing. Let's listen to what he said here.
We had the UK say that we'll send, this is 3 weeks ago, we'll send our aircraft carriers, which aren't the best aircraft carriers, by the way. They're toys compared to what we have. But we'll send our aircraft carrier when the war is over. I said, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Don't bother. We don't need it. And we don't need it. And we don't need them.
I just said we don't really need you. We don't really need you. Your aircraft carriers are just toys. They're just toys. Just toys now. Ours are very special, very powerful, very great. Nothing like it's ever been seen before. Like, he gets into that like sleepy mode when he starts talking. I don't know if it's like a hypnotic trance state where he kind of goes into like a hypnotic mode. I don't know. It's weird. Pentagon sources are confirming that Trump is preparing to launch the ground invasion against Iran despite experts that are warning of disaster. Oh, I guess some kind of improvised thing was happening there. I don't know what happened there. I don't think anything came of that. Israel military officials reportedly say Iran's military capabilities cannot be eliminated in the current operation. So they're realizing that Iran is a formidable enemy that has not in any way been degraded by bombs. So that's why we're bringing in 10,000 to face off with 1 million armed militia, ready to go soldiers with drone technologies and not to mention missiles and everything else. So what are we going to do? We're going to get a bunch of guys dying, and then what? Trump's going to say, just nuke them. That's what's going to end up happening. I think that what we could see happen is we could see a bunch of our guys get killed. Donald Trump having a big, huge, massive backlash. sentiment within the American people, and then he decides, oh, let's just nuke them, like we did. We don't want to lose a bunch of men. That was our reason for why we nuked Japan. We didn't want to lose 100,000 men to invading Japan. And so they said, well, the next best thing is just nuke a couple cities, and then they'll give up. And so, is that what we're going to do? Or is it going to be the scenario of Dmitry Duduman, where all these protests erupt and the whole country goes into chaos, and Trump has to pull all of his attention back to America because America's in extreme chaos? If you know who Dmitry Duduman is and the scenario, it's not pleasant. It's not. Viewer discretion is advised. The Pentagon is developing military options for a final blow in Iran that could include the use of ground forces and a massive bombing campaign. See, I'm going backwards. Speaking of backward masking, this was just posted on the White House page. What do you guys think about this? This is really weird. Let's see if I can find it here. I just saw this. Let's see. Hold on. Hold, please. Let's see what... Okay, wait. Well, let me see what Owen said. Don't tell me he's talking about UFOs. Hold on. Owen Schroeder. He says, I can't explain what I saw. Let's see what he says.
I'm going to try my...
Hold on. Let me turn this down. I'm going to blow your eardrums out.
My best to explain what I and others saw tonight west of Austin, pretty far west. And I found some images on X of some other people that saw it. I was driving, so I couldn't really get a good picture. So I'm driving west. It's sunset, twilight, and I see a bunch of objects in the sky, probably like 4 or 5 objects. And they're striking, like you can't miss them. And I'm thinking, well, this is just the twilight hour, the sunset reflecting off of airplanes or something. You know what I'm talking about. And so I was like, oh, okay, whatever, that's just what it is. And then one of them, I don't know if I would say it blew up, but it just started falling out of the sky and eventually caught fire. And this lasted for like minutes, probably. And then the other objects that were around it started moving and dispersing as well. Someone said they saw 2 fireballs. I only saw the one. And then I looked up at the news and they were talking about how there are meteors or whatever. Folks, this was no meteor. If they try to say this was a meteor, that's BS. I've seen tons of meteors in my life. I've seen shooting stars. I've seen it all. I've even seen satellites that have blown up and crashed down. So I've seen it all. This was not a meteor. This was a flying object that caught fire and fell out of the sky. And there were at least 2 or 3 other aircraft right there when it happened. I'm not the only one that saw this. It was crazy, honestly. It was crazy to witness this. It was wild to witness this. And the reason why I don't believe it was a meteor is because when meteors come into the atmosphere, it happens very fast. And then when they hit the atmosphere, they kind of disperse and break up. The whole process of a meteor is like a couple seconds, like 10 seconds tops. This was minutes. This thing was a fireball falling out of the sky for like 5 minutes with other aircraft around it. So I'm not even trying to be like a conspiracy theory or anything. It's just like, that was crazy to witness. I was not the only one that saw it. That's how incredible this thing was. And it was not a meteor. I don't know what it was. I'm going to be obsessed with trying to find out if anybody else got any better images than the ones that I'm sharing on X. It's got to make the news. I mean, this thing was such a crazy aerial phenomenon. I would imagine it's got to make the news. So this thing has me intrigued. So it's nice to take a break from the Trump TV craziness and look up at the sky and wonder what the hell is going on.
Yeah, for sure. So let's see what he said. He posted some pictures. Let's go, and I'll take a look and see if I can see some pictures. Okay, so here is some of his photos here, right here. Those are probably missiles. I'm thinking those might be missiles. At least that's what they one look like. Really like missiles to you? Those are missiles. That looks like a missile. Well, let's see if there's other visuals of this. I've seen meteors. These were not meteors. Let's see, 2 hours ago. Somebody else has posted pictures, videos here. That's interesting. Let's see what the other one looks like. Oh, we saw that one. That's kind of, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Here's something else. So I guess this has been happening. They're going to say it was a meteor. I'm not sure. Fireballs, meteors. I've seen these things before, but I kind of think that they're just planes that, you know, as the sunset's going down, it makes it look red. You know, I've seen that before. I don't know. It doesn't seem like anything major. I don't know. Pentagon considering deploying a... Okay, so... All right, so what was I going to show you? I was going to show you something, and I was taking you to X for a reason. Oh, shoot. What was I going to show you? I brought you over here for a reason, and I can't remember what it was. Can somebody tell me what I was going to show you? Refresh my brain here. Let me see if I can go back here and look. My history here. I was about to show you something on here, and I can't remember what it was. I'm looking at my my history here so I can see if I can remember. Hello. Oh, okay, that's what it was. That's what it was. Okay, so the White House thing. Okay, so the White House, listen to this. They put out a backward masking. You guys remember what backward masking was, right? Or was back in the day in the 80s, they were burning, you know, Christians were burning rock music and albums because there was supposedly these, you know, the Beatles had supposedly embedded some message backwards in one of their songs, and there was other rock groups that did the same thing. And they said it was demonic and it was evil. And okay, so now you've got the White House doing the same thing. So they put out a message today. Listen to this. Listen. So the White House puts out this, and they had posted something weird the other day, yesterday. Remember I showed you guys on the video on the stream last night about what the White House put out. they deleted it, and then they put up another one, and everybody was like, "What is this?" They're trying to decode it. It was just like a 5-second clip or something, 7-second. And nobody knew what it meant, and people are trying to figure it out. They're slowing it down. They're trying to figure out there's got to be some reason for this. Well, the White House now puts out this today. They put this out 3 hours ago. Listen to this. Okay, so you know the devil does everything backwards, right? And upside down. they say they invert it. They invert just like they do with the mass, the Catholic mass. A lot of Satanists will do this. They'll take the Catholic mass, they'll invert it. That's what the cross upside down is. It's a part of their symbolism. And but a lot of the different rituals that and they recruit, right? You know, former Catholics. A lot of times they like those types of ritualistic types of people to be involved in the priesthood of the satanic cults, satanic priesthood. And because they understand that ritual part of it, but they like to invert everything, turn it upside down, backwards, and that's where you get the whole backward masking thing, right? Well, this is a message the White House embedded, and the actual interpretation is somewhere in here. Let me see it. Somebody had actually figured it out. It's probably on here. Let's see. 32,000. Look at it. It's got 32,000 comments. I always love the memes. Let's see if I can find the official interpretation of it. Now, some Paul, I ate a baby. I ate a baby. Oh no, look at this. Look at that. Look what AI can do. Okay, so this is the backward masking. Okay, so here it is. Exciting announcement. So basically, what they did was they backward masked something, and this is what it actually says, because they knew somebody was going to go out and figure it out backwards, because that's what they did on purpose, right? They want everybody to be all like talking about it like I'm doing right now and saying how smart it is, because it's actually a great marketing technique to get your message out, because nobody's really listening to you anymore anyway, or at least they don't take you serious. So you got to backward mask messages to get people's attention and possibly tickle their, I don't know, wow, he's a creative president. Maybe we should believe him again. Like, you know, like who knows? But here's what it said. This is what it said.
Exciting announcement tomorrow. Exciting announcement tomorrow. Exciting announcement tomorrow. Exciting announcement tomorrow. Exciting announcement tomorrow.
So what do you think the exciting announcement's going to be? Iran has surrendered for the 6th time. They've given up. They're giving us all their oil as a present. I'm going to be on their currency. It's going to be my head on their new minted coins. What do you think? All right, I'm looking at your guys' chat right now. So if you have anything you want to share, talk about, let me know in the comments. I'm looking. Oh, it looks like we got some super chats. Josh Lacey. Thank you very much, Josh Lacey. I got to make sure I give you a special shout out. Thank you much. You didn't put a comment in there, Josh. You got to say something. Say something. Sound off on those. Don't waste them. Just say it, man. Say what you think. It's kind of creepy. Yeah, I would say so. I'm not sure that's the same sound. No, it is. It's a backward mask. Yeah, it's the back. If you listen to it forward, it's all garbled, but it sounds like he's saying something about a special announcement. Everybody's doing it. Come on, it's all you got to do is have the audio Audacity, and you can reverse the sound. It's real easy to do. And they did that on purpose. Yeah, it's real. Thank you, Josh. Thank you. You say it enough. You always are talking in there, I know. JME Grammy, God bless. Whoosh. Hello, Whoosh. CSE drivers, good to see you. Patty Lynch. How are things going, Patty? We're all praying. Everything's going better. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah, the Lord bless you. You're on the phone. I'm on the phone, baby. The phone's on the back order till the fuel comes in. I know. What about that Trump phone? Is he ever going to send that Trump phone out? I mean, everybody paid back in August of last year. They still haven't gotten their Trump phones yet. Hey, when somebody orders from me and they get a seed kit, I send it out within at least a week. When we first started, we had to do it was about 2 weeks because we were kind of behind, but it's gotten down to like less than a week. We're not going to let you sit there and wait for it for like 7 months. What is it now? No, we're already in April, so that's almost been. I think he sold them. A lot of people bought them in August of last year, August, September. Yeah, August. And so as of today, let's see. I'm going to do an update because we need to see if he's actually made good on this yet, because this is terrible. You know how many people bought that Trump phone? I think it was like 490,000 people paid $500. Now, some put deposits down, but I think some paid the full price, and they still haven't got their Trump phones yet. Trump phone update. Let's see if they've made good on this yet. We got to keep the president accountable. I just hope he doesn't claim bankruptcy on y'all out there that have paid for this. Okay, the Trump Mobile T1 Gold smartphone, a $499 Android device announced in June with promised U.S. manufacturing, probably wasn't manufactured in the U.S., has been significantly delayed and has not yet been released as of March 2020. Still? You got to be kidding me. According to reports, originally expected in August of 2025, the release was delayed to late January of 2026 and now is experiencing even further uncertainties. Wow. Well, at least the Obama phone came in. Remember the Obama phone? He gave us all a phone. He expected us to vote, but we got our Obama phones. Remember that lady? Tell me that I didn't sound like her. I sounded just like her, didn't I?
World War III update. So I've been getting questions.
Sorry about that, Nate. Tell me if I don't sound like the Obama phone lady.
Obama.
You got Obama phone?
Yes, everybody in Cleveland, low minority got Obama phone. Keep Obama in president, He gave us a phone.
He gave you a phone.
Do more.
How did he give you a phone?
You sign up if you
You got your Obama phone. Hey, at least Obama made good on it, and he gave it away. Trump's selling it for $500 and didn't even send it out. That's just terrible. Got everybody's expectations all up in the air, and then nothing comes through. Bunch of hot air. It's not up in the air, it's hot air. That's all it is, right? But anyways. All right, let me get back to you guys. I'm sorry, I got diverted again to my Obama phone. Thanks for the freeze-dried eggs. Yes, Green Good Maker. They are yes, they're good too, by the way. It's so easy to just reconstitute. Lots of protein. Got to get that. Now, if I had a freeze dryer, I would probably do some more, but we don't have a freeze dryer anymore. So we had to pay some bills. So we got rid of it. But it's okay. Phone crupsy. Phone crupsy. Instead of bankruptcy, it's phone crupsy. Yeah. If Eric and Dawn are in charge, you'll never get your phones. Oh, Lord. Anyways, I guess that's about it, guys. Now, if you're a Trump supporter out there and you're thinking that I got Trump derangement syndrome, no, I don't. I just am kind of a little disappointed that he didn't turn out to be as I trusted in the beginning. I was trusting the plan just like everybody else, hoping for a new day. But it turned into a golden occult dawn, the golden occult dawn of the last days. And it's definitely the last days. You got to say that for sure. You never got an Obama phone? No? TSA, the check's in the mail, man. It's in the mail, just like that $5,000 stimulus check we're supposed to give every American. But wait, Doge didn't find as much as we thought he was going to find. So that's off the table. But hey, I got a $2,000 stimulus check going to be given to you guys because we've pulled in all kinds of money in tariffs. Our economy is hot, hot, hot. We've never been hotter. We're back, man. The whole world is saying what a great job I'm doing. But wait, we're going through all kinds of chaos with the tariffs now. We can't give you that $2,000 stimulus check. Sorry, guys. Maybe next time. What else can we do for you? No taxes. How about that? We're going to get rid of the IRS. Not. You thought that was true too? Sorry. The war's over. We pretty much stopped everything. It's in its tracks. Iranians are falling on their knees, just praying that I won't nuke them again or bomb them again. Not. Now, Whoosh says, I'm very happy with Trump's second presidency so far. Still a long time to go as well. Oh, yes, very long. You got a long wait, brother. You just keep trusting the plan there, my friend. I'm sure he'll come through in the end. I'm sure he will. Just like he did with all those other people that he owed when he went bankrupt. He was going to make good on that, I'm sure, too. But that never happened, did it? No. Never did. You know, when you go bankrupt, they usually take your assets and divide it all up and pay off your debtors, right? Don't they? They never did take his building, though. But he said he made money off the bankruptcies, but 8 of them in a row over a period of years. Whatever business he did pretty much just failed. But hey, you know what? He didn't have to pay his subcontractors. You know, that's what happens when you're bankrupt. Your the people that you contracted with, they don't need to get paid. But hey, he said he made money, but he didn't pay his people that he, went bankrupt on. But it's okay. He knew how to use the bankruptcy system for his advantage. So you can say he's smart. He's a genius. He's a super genius. I even think he's like Wile E. Coyote, super genius. Josh, be sure to stream this weekend. Yes, I think I will. Wild Man, God bless. Midas Touch is a leftist organization. Is it really? Really? But he's speaking the truth, at least on this point. It's kind of weird when you got people on both sides saying the same thing. They're kind of in the middle now, and the uniparty has pretty much been recognized to be exactly what it is. I'm sure that guy's smart enough to not go along with the Sleepy Joe agenda either. I don't know. He didn't seem like a real leftist to me. Well, there's definitely a lot of support that he's got. I mean, how many millions of people follow that guy? Jeez, 6 million people? He's pretty popular then with the leftists. I don't even know. But hey, everything he said seemed to be pretty right on the money. Wild Man, I'm going to give you a thumbs up on that, Wild Man. You kind of look like a wild man in there too. Let me see your profile here. I'm gonna see that picture of you. Yep, that looks like a wild man. That's a wild man. You definitely are a wild man. Look at that. Look at this, guys. He's a wild man. You look like a Sasquatch. That actually looks like a picture. Because like a Sasquatch. That's what happens when you when you give a super chat. You get the limelight put right on you. Another 2.5 years of Trump, he can up the blow the world 2.5 times. He's awkward looking and has an annoying voice. Really, Royal? I don't think I've only seen him a couple times. I've only seen that guy. I think I saw a clip of his a while back, which I think at the time was okay. How about those teacher robots that Melania Trump was talking about? Yeah, I talked about that yesterday, Wounded Dove. He looks like the dwarf from LOTR. What is LOTR? What does LOTR stand for? I have no idea what LOTR is. Is that book? What they call that? Oh, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Sid for Brains. Good to see you, man. Or gal, or whoever you are. We elected, we got to let him serve his term. Yeah, but what happens if he keeps just, unraveling everything there, Royale? Do you keep serving him all the way to the very bitter end? If he keeps unraveling everything? Like, what do you do if it's just like, what happens if he sends you to war? Are you going to be still behind him if he sends you? How old are you? Are you 45? You got kids? Because if they're not 45 yet, they might be going to Iran. Will you still be behind him if he sends your kids to Iran? Sorry, Robert. I do have a stroke. It's hard to type. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Well, we'll pray that you get better. The Saxon. Josh, we got a huge present. Very lovely. I won't tell you about it, but it was superb. It was very special. They really loved me. Do you think the teacher robots will be homosexual by nature? I don't know. I don't think that they're going to have any kind of... They might just have... Did you see the robot that was beating the kid? I think there was a robot that went Genghis Kong on somebody, started trying to beat up somebody and, could have killed him. You got to be careful. I mean, think about that. Robots going rogue. Short circuit, something in their motherboard, or they start trying to kill you. Look, 20s, but no, you look like you're 20s. Yeah, right, Royale. How old are you, Royale? Tell me the truth. Come on. Let's see Royale's profile. Let's go look. Let's see what Royale looks like. Oh, he must be young. He's got anime on there. Look at that. You got anime on there. You must be like a youngster. You're going to be going to war, my friend. Don't be trusting the plan. I hope not. I hope this is over quick. I hope it's over quick and Trump, gets a Nobel Peace Prize. Everything that he's always desired. But he's got to be humble first. If he humbled himself and didn't fit in with what the end times man would be doing, maybe he might get a Nobel Peace Prize. There is nothing more dangerous than kindness, and Trump is not dangerous in that way. Absolutely. That's what I was just saying. That's what I was just saying there, Greenmaker. That's absolutely right. Thank you. God bless you, sister. I think you're a sister, right? And you're absolutely right, because when you're kind, you do. Have you ever heard that saying, kill them with kindness? When you love somebody, you truly do love them. Even if they're evil and mean and want to hurt you, they could have a conscience somewhere down deep that might get awakened. And it might be worth going through a little suffering on their behalf if you pray for them. Amen. I know some people are like, I ain't going to turn the cheek, man. I'm going to defend myself, and I'll to the bitter end, eye for an eye. But Jesus taught a different way, and if you can embody the message and the very presence of the Lord in your own heart, maybe the Lord will give you the power to do that. Right? Turn the cheek. Believers and those who are kind are the real danger because we are not afraid of this government. Absolutely. 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 Can I respond to that? Can I say amen? Let me see. Amen. And are you a sister? Are you a sister or a brother? I think you're a sister. I'm thinking you're a sister, but I'm not going to say it because then I'll end up doing it wrong. Do you see her? Yeah, you're a sister. Okay, you're our sister. All right, sister. God bless you. Bobby Ricky says, I'm in awe of Trump supporters. I know. How do you do it? I do. You have such great faith, man. You've got such great faith. Anybody that is still trusting in the Trump plan has amazing faith. I mean, wow. I mean, you must be one of those Paula White followers. you gotta be one of those followers of the Queen Bee. They follow the Queen Bee because she's getting everybody all excited. How do you do it, Trump supporters out there? Is there any Trump supporters in my audience right now? Just out of curiosity. I think there's one. I think there was one. Any other Trump supporters out there? Let's hear you pipe up. Come on, get up. Don't be afraid. Confess. You know, the Bible says we overcome by the word of our confession. By the word of our confession. Let's hear you. You got to make your confession out there. We want to see. I don't get it. I don't get it. Woosh says, I think QAnon is probably total BS, but I do have faith in our country and our current president. Now, I have faith in God. I don't put my faith in men because I know what's in men, right? Jesus said the same thing. I know what's in man. I don't entrust myself to any man because he knew what was in man, it says. And what's in man? Selfish ambition and a fallen nature that needs to be truly converted. Now, if you're not a true believer and converted in your heart, then you're going to be believing and trusting the plan of the world, and you're going to be sadly disappointed in the end. Now, you might have, little happy moments and drug-like experiences that are keeping you fascinated with, like I look at Elon and I'm seeing all the posts that Elon does on X, and he's putting out all of this imagery and this beautiful, it's just this AI stuff. He seems to be in love. He's always posting stuff about women. I don't know if you've ever looked at Elon stuff, but he's trying to impress the whole world with this beauty of AI and what it can do and how it can make us feel and make us better people and answer all of our questions. And we're actually becoming like God. We don't even need God. We've got all the technology in the world, man. We're going to be seating the heavens and living forever. Just trust the plan. He's like the right-hand man of Trump. I would say he's kind of like the false prophet. Exactly. Trust the Lord, man. Tim Johnson says, I support Trump. Really? Tell me, Tim, what is it that you support? I am very curious. I'm just honestly asking the question. What do you support? What do you think that Trump is doing that's good? Just kind of curious. Like, do you really trust him? Let me ask you this. Do you trust Trump? Would you trust Trump with your kids' lives? Sending them into harm's way. Would you trust Trump to send your kids into harm's way? Would you trust Trump to send your kids into harm's way? You voted 3 times for him, A-Dub? Wow, I didn't know that. Dang. Knowing humans as you do, would you be caught helpless by them? Yeah, exactly. No, I would never. No. I know what's in people's hearts. Operation Warp Speed was great, wasn't it? Seriously, Did you take the vax when he told you to do it? Because, hey, if you trust Trump, he told you to take the vax. Remember, he said it was good for you. He never relented on that either. He said it was the greatest miracle that ever graced God's green earth. I know it's 2 o'clock on the East Coast. God bless. Wounded. I know time is moving fast. You have Musk derangement syndrome. I must have Musk derangement syndrome because I think he could be the one who calls fire out of heaven, the one who gives breath to the image or to the AI, because that's what it is. Tim Johnson said, I voted for him 3 times also. Wow, that's cool. Right on. You get a prize. Here's your prize. Who said that? James Foxworthy? Here's your prize. No, here's your sign. No, he said, here's your sign. Here's your sign. It's not a prize. Okay, so you got a sign. Warp speed, Daddy. And you didn't take the vax? So you didn't trust the plan, Tim. He said to take it. Why didn't you take it, man? It's supposed to help you out, man. It's supposed to make you one with the flow. You got to be on the same team, man. Why didn't you take it, man? Robert AI made an anime photo of me. I put it up. Oh, is that what it was? So that was an animated AI picture of what you look like? Seriously? Wow. To all the people who think government and politicians are bad, what do you propose as an alternative? Trusting God's plan. Hey, in the middle of a crooked and perverse generation, you shine like lights and stars in the universe, right? This is not your home. You're not here to set up a camp, set up an empire to live forever. This is not your home. You're in the world, but you're not of it. You can pray for your leaders. I'm not saying don't pray for them. I'm not saying hope for the best, that they might turn over a new leaf. But when they're intoxicated with power and influence and money, most of them are in some way corrupt if they don't really truly trust. Now, there are politicians out there that I do think that do know the Lord, and they have had a lot of backlash because of that. And some of them may have actually left government because, I mean, look at some of, like, you know, how do you know who really trusts the Lord? Because they do what's right, right? They do what's right when it's not popular. People maybe like Tom Massey. People like maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know, I'm not saying that they're saints. A lot of people point to their faults, right? But what they're doing in the big scheme of things is actually correct. They're saying things that are in line with the current of what truth, the current of overarching truth, right? When you look at truth in its context, I'm not saying that she's perfect or that even that she does talk about the Lord. She does talk about her faith. But you got to just look at the way he treats people and, you know, the way he, you know, he's consistently, you know, the same in his character. It's not, to me, I just, you know, whatever. But let's see, what else? What is this? California just went dark? What? This is not a false alarm. This is Matt Wallace, a very big channel. Hundreds of thousands of homes in San Diego and Orange County are left without power. They are completely puzzled by the cause. What? That was from D. Thank you, D. Let's take a look at that. What the heck is going on here? This was just posted at 10:39. So this just happened within the last half hour. I got to turn down some of that sound. It sounds terrible. I do see some lights. I mean, it does look pretty dark though. If that's San Diego, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to power outage map and see. Let's take a look. Let's see if it will show us what's going on here. So they said California? Really? I don't see anything going on here in California. What the heck? What's he talking about? I don't know. I don't see anything going on here. Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, San Bernardino, Riverside, San Diego County. I'm clicking on San Diego County right now. There are only 146 people out of power. So I don't know. Maybe that's not right, D. I don't know. Unless it hasn't updated yet. Not sure. It doesn't say that there's any power outages. Let me just see if there's any other talk about it. Yeah, because he just posted that, and he's a big channel. He's a big channel. I wouldn't expect him to put something out there that wasn't legit. Let me look again. Maybe it just happened. If it just happened, maybe it hasn't updated yet. Let me see. Matt Wallace. Yeah, Matt Wallace has a pretty large following. I'm thinking that's his name, right? Matt Wallace. Let me see. Let's see. He has 2.3 million followers. Yeah, 2.3 million followers. But I'm not seeing what's going on. Grok, what happened in California? Okay, so they're asking the Grok. Let's see. There was temporary power outages in parts of North San Diego County last night. Oh, this was 2000. Oh, so that's tonight, right? Because it's still 26th evening, March 26th. SDG&E monitored. San Diego Gas and Electric monitored it and reports power has been fully restored to affected customers. No massive, unexplained statewide blackout. Current data shows only 146 customers are out. That's what I just saw too. About 146. So no massive, unexplained statewide blackout. It was just clickbait to try to make some extra money. Because that's what happens. You make all kinds of money when you put out a post like that, especially if you got 3 million followers. But you got to be careful when you keep doing stuff like that because people remember, and then you're embellishing the truth or embellishing what's actually happening, and then nobody trusts what you're saying when it really matters. What do they call that? The boy who cried wolf syndrome. We don't want that. So, yeah, we're not going to do that. All right. Well, who is this? Oh, the Frayman. San Diego, California. I got power. Very good. Thank you, Frayman. God bless. Thank you for sharing the love and keeping us pumped up here. It always does excite us. Like, yeah. I was going to say like the queen bee. No, I'm not just kidding. No, we definitely want to keep exposing that kind of stuff, though. And, we need funding. We definitely appreciate all you guys supporting us with super chats. And also the store. Hey, when you buy something, you're hitting two birds with one stone. You're getting set up, you're getting yourself prepared for hard times, and you're supporting what we're doing. And we do appreciate that. So keep up the good work, guys. The love of money, absolutely. We don't want to love money. Money is a necessary evil, I guess, if you will, but it is a medium of your time. It is what you exchange your time for in order to, provide for your family and accomplish goals, paying internet bills, paying the tax man, paying everything else. That's all through the roof. And yeah. So I'm praying you guys all are making it okay. And God gives you witty inventions, gives you favor in every way, even in that physical monetary world that we all have to live in. You know, we're in the world, but we're not of it. We don't want to become consumed with it. We don't want to pursue it. We don't want to idolize it. We'll use the resources, but hey, and God gave every good gift to be enjoyed, right? Every good and perfect gift comes down from the Father of lights. But the most important gift, obviously, is your salvation. And you're not redeemed with gold and silver, but by the precious blood of the Lamb. Amen. How many of you guys are redeemed by the know your power is from the Lord Most High. It's not from money. Money is not going to save you. It's going to be the love of God and the blood of Christ. Amen. Amen. All right, guys. I love you all. I pray you're doing all well this night. And you guys have a great evening. And I will be back again tomorrow. I know it's late. And we'll try to get on that ministry channel again. We did a really good update yesterday. And encourage you guys to go back and watch some of the prophetic meditations that we do and the scripture readings. Spend time on that and get yourself into the Bible and into prayer. And watch God answer your prayers. I mean, it may seem like things are tough and you know, you might feel like you're under a cloud of condemnation, but God has not given you a spirit of fear. And it says there is therefore now no condemnation for those who are in Christ. How do you get into Christ? Call upon his name, and he's there, and he'll forgive you. And that forgiveness leads to repentance, because the goodness of God leads men to repentance, right? It's not the fear of destruction. You're not just following him because you're afraid. You're following him because he loves you and he's forgiven you and he's given you a way of escape. Amen. So receive it and go with God and know that he's, you know, taking your sins as far as the east is from the west and cast them into the deepest sea, never to be seen again. Amen. Trust the Lord and he will do it. I promise you, he will wash you white as snow. And love him with all your heart, and you'll see everything change. It'll turn on a dime. Just trust him, okay? God bless. Love you all. In Jesus' name, we'll talk to you soon.